Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I finally finished the pink and white tweed jacket. It's completely, the base beading is done. There's two tiny bits of beading that I haven't done, one on either arm, sleeve, but the lining's done and everything. It's perfect. Perfect jacket. So previously on the pink and white jacket, in the first episode of this, I made the jacket and then I sort of made the jacket and I pinned the side seams and the underarms together so that I could put it on the mannequin. And then in episode 2, I unpinned it and then I proceeded to carefully embellish or bead half the jacket, which took absolutely forever. And that's why I only had time to do half of it. And then I pinned it back together carefully once more and I put it on the mannequin. And that's where the second episode ended, with me showing you a full 360 of this lovely jacket, half of it done, half of it not done. And yeah, I'm really happy with this beading. So what I have to do now, quite obviously, is the second half of the jacket, the exact same beading. I've also got a triangle, like a feature design on the back. I have to finish that, and then there's going to be a smaller design on the forearm of the right, and then I've just got to add one bead to the left cuff. So what I have to do first is, as I said, unpin it and then just start beading again. So I'll carefully unpin these tiny little brass safety pins. It's good to use them because they hold the jacket together the way it should be, but it also means they catch really easily, so it was difficult to get them. You have to be really careful when you're unpicking them. So that's done. Now it is time, now it's butterflied open again, and it is time once more to do the beading. So now I've just got the other side out so I can compare one front to the other and hopefully make them look mirror image-ish. Not perfectly symmetrical because that's a little boring, but something approaching. Okay, I have finally finished doing the whole of the beading of the jacket. Oh, spoiler alert. And but obviously you probably saw the picture on the thumbnail. That's where it's finished. But sometimes when you're beading, you're like, am I ever going to finish this? And I took all little snippets of footage along the way. And yeah, I sort of worked from the middle out to the cuff. And it was a very, very slow process. Actually, it was much quicker doing the second half than the first half, obviously, because in the first half, you're still sort of working out your design and you sort of keep tweaking it. But you have to worry about whether you're tweaking it too much or... Yeah, because you have to keep the design uniform over the whole of the jacket, but you also want to improve as you go on. So here it is, completely done. Oh my goodness, this took so long. It just took a remarkable amount of time, but it was really fun to make this jacket. I guess I've been so stressed about other things when I've been beading over the past few months that I'm not sure beading has been terribly fun, whereas this jacket, it's so great. So next I have to do the triangle on the back, the design feature. And I realized in the last jacket video, I randomly said that I was going to use these sort of relatively expensive plastic beads. And then at another point, I said I was going to use these much cheaper plastic beads. And then I started talking about this floral oasis. I mean, this is me just pointing out that I've got loads of sequins left. So I've got this Linton tweed in cream, apricot, neon pink, and there's some other colour in there. There's mohair in there as well. Anyway, so I might use them on that. And so now instead of doing one of those 3 types of beads, I've picked out some from each and I'm going to mix them all together. I cherry picked the cherry blossom flowers. That's so cute. Anyway, so yes, it takes forever to do this type of beading, which is why it's only a design feature and not the entire jacket. Also, you wouldn't be able to see the tweed, so it'd be kind of pointless. A lot of people have been saying that, always say that my type of beading covers so much that it renders the use of tweed pointless. I mean, that's the way you see it, then that's the way you see it. But for me, I come from, as a kid, I painted oil on canvas, and the type of base that you have matters. So to me, it matters. But also, I would never have come up with this design if I hadn't been using this tweed. So to say that I could have done this beading without having the tweed layer or having a cheaper cotton layer on there, I mean, I'm sure there are people who work that way, but for me, it was that it was a pink and white tweed, and that it had those neon yarns threaded, woven in there between each block of colour, is how I came up with the sequins in those sort of neon pink and red, as well as the pinks. So I don't know. It informs the design as conceptually as much as it does the design in the physical end version of the design. Anyway, so I'm going to go off and finish this triangle. It's so much fun doing this bit, but I suppose it would have been more visible if I'd done it in red. I kind of just do it for myself anyway. Okay, really going and doing more work now. And now it is finally finished. It's another day, obviously. And here it is. It's very subtle. Once I've put it on the mannequin, you'll be able to see it some more. But this is amazing. It's just such a good piece of work. It's exactly what I needed to do. So, yeah. And the whole of the triangle's done. You can't really see it so much. I suppose I should have put other colours in there, but I like that it's subtle. Anyway, so now that all the base beading is done and the whole of the floral feature on the back is done, I suppose I could do the red seed beads on the right arm and the one bead on the left, but I decided not to. What I'm going to do next is turn the whole thing. This is me just showing you that. Then I worked on the front, because there was some on the first side of the front that I did that I had left a few spots because I wasn't sure whether I was going to bead them or not. So I added a few beads there just so that both sides are balanced. And then I carefully turned everything inside out, sort of, and just pinned the undersleeve and the sides of the jacket together, and then carefully stitched it. It looks a little bit messy from the inside, but obviously once I turn it in the right way and then I add the silk lining, it's going to look fine. And here we go. So I haven't done the lining yet, but this is me just looking at the jacket to see if there's any imperfections or anything. And I am loving this. So yes, it's the base beading, or most of the beading, is done. And here's the back. So, I mean, the triangle is perfectly visible to me. I am just going to have to put the biggest note on this jacket to remind myself to put my hair up before I put this jacket on, though, because I've got long hair and it will get caught in all these sequins. So in that respect, it was a little unwise. But I always get people commenting that they wouldn't, they'd wreck it by leaning against chairs. Once you wear beaded, specialty clothing, specialty pieces, you kind of get used to what you can and can't do. So it's not going to get damaged just by wearing it. It's probably a little bit too spectacular for most people to wear. I agree with that, but I still love it. So I'm really glad I did it. I really like this jacket pattern, Berta 6123. It means that you can half make the jacket, then do all the beading and then just stitch up the two side seams. It's so much easier than trying to bead a Chanel style jacket that's already constructed and it's in a 3D way. This is really good. Now I just have to make the lining. I'm thinking I might use rayon instead of silk. When you make a constructed, like a proper, using a Chanel style jacket using, say, the Vogue 7975, you do need to use silk because it's so fitted. Whereas this one is dolman sleeves, which means they're baggier and they have more ease. So I might make the lining out of, I've got this pink viscose that I was bought to make a dress, but I might use some of it to make lining. Have to iron it first. Viscose or rayon, whichever you call it. So yeah, and that way I'll save all my, because silk is considerably, it costs more. So I might save that for the structured Chanel style jackets. And then for the dolman sleeve ones, like this one and the daisy one that I'm making next, I'll use up the viscose because I don't really want to, I bought them to make dresses, but I prefer cotton dresses. So this might be a good alternative. I shall make one and see how it goes. Oh, I was going to do some other small details on the jacket with some red seed beads and this one diamond shaped bead made out of plastic, but it looks like wood. But my beads are in cardboard boxes. They used to be in see-through storage boxes, but brilliant me, I put them in cardboard boxes and I can't remember where the red seed beads are or the diamond wood look ones. So I will do the lining now and then add those next week. Anyway, so I ironed the rayon or viscose fabric and I cut out the two fronts, left and right, and the one big back piece. And I actually had enough to cut out two linings. So I cut out another one because I really like this jacket pattern. So I've altered the back of it slightly, but apart from that, I'm going to make it almost exactly like this one. So I have cut the pieces out, then I sewed them together, and then I hand stitched the seam allowance back so that it doesn't so it's not all bunchy on the inside. And then I sewed where the seam line will be. Actually, I sewed it one notch over on the sewing machine, so it's got an extra couple of millimeters tucked under, and so you can sort of see the tweed at the edge rather than the lining. And then I pinned it into place, which took forever, but I couldn't be bothered filming each step. It's pretty simple. And then you just hand stitch it into place and it is done. So yeah, I really, really like this lining. I like it much more than like when the jacket was just tweed, you could really see the white in the pink and white tweed. But since I covered it in hundreds and hundreds of beads and sequins, it's much more pink, dark pink and red, or hot pink and red. So I just felt like this was a much better match than the white silk that I was going to use. Anyway, so yes, there I actually bothered to put in the lining, so I feel like I have to show it to you. So it doesn't alter the way it looks, but in the footage, but it is very different because it's actually finished. And yeah, so there we go. I've already showed you the finished outside, and I haven't done the extra two design elements, and this is me just trying to show you that the lining is in fact done, and it's really cute. I love this jacket. It's great. It's so cute. But yes, I'm gonna have to put a big sign on I keep my jackets either hanging up or in storage boxes like they do in museums. So I think I'm just gonna have to make a notice for this one that says, make sure your hair is up before you put the jacket on, because the back would just, my hair would so get caught in this. It would just be ridiculous. But it's beautiful. Sometimes I make my jackets just for display. Like I would love to have like all of them displayed in a gallery, like just hanging on like, well, sort of, those clear plastic mannequins that they use in galleries sometimes, and they sort of rotate, spin in the air. So I think, yeah, I'm not sure I'll wear this one that often because it's just so complex, but it will look beautiful on display. Sometimes I just get some of mine out and look at them anyway. But yeah, this one's beautiful. I really feel like this is one of the ones where the footage just does not do it justice. But anyway, it's done. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this very painful, very drawn out process of me making a single jacket this week. It's been really fun, just half making it, doing all the beading, finish making it, the outer jacket, and adding the lining. When I make the more complicated Vogue 7975 or the real Chanel style jackets or French jackets, it's just so much more complicated. So many of you have said that you really, really want to do some beading yourselves. I highly recommend this jacket pattern because it allows you to half make it, then do the beading on a flat surface, like on a flat fabric, then finish making the jacket. And it's so much easier than trying to bead like a three-dimensional object, which is so incredibly frustrating. This is a great jacket pattern for doing embellishment on. I'm going to do another one with one of my satiny fabrics. I was going to use the lobster fabric, but because it's directional, I don't have enough to cut out all the big, giant, awkward shaped pieces. So I will be doing the daisy jacket next, which is a different pattern. But the next time I make this Berta 6123, it will either be the autumn tweed or this satin fabric, I think. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Really going now. Thanks again for watching and happy sewing. I'm so happy with the way that this jacket turned out. There could be a little more weight on the hem, so I might sew a gold chain into it. Maybe. We'll see. Happy sewing.